I wanted to talk about some world affairs. What's been going on, in some world affairs. Uh, the first thing is half of one entire political party in America is owned by Vladimir Putin, so that's still going on. Otherwise, Ukraine would have some weapons right now. So that's a crying fucking shame. But, there's maybe about 3 or 4 Republicans that aren't on the payroll yet and decided to pick country over party. But hey, that's been going on for a while now. So I wanted to talk about Bobo. You remember Bobo? Lauren Boebert, representative in one of the districts in Colorado, and then she felt like she's going to lose this coming November, so she switched to a different district, and now she's running there, and doing the whole scam. She doesn't give a fuck about nobody. And one of the reasons I say that is her son. I believe he just turned 18, whatever. He's been charged with a bunch of crimes. It seems that he has been rifling through people's cars, breaking into people's cars, I guess, in his neighborhood. Car after car. It's not just one. Car after car after car. Stole credentials, I assume debit cards and other things like that. Whatever he could get out of people's cars. Also, he's accused of making a video with an underage girl, possibly. And you know what kind of video I'm talking about, I'm sure. So he's got some serious shit up against him legally. And here's the thing about that. One, they're a family with money, which should disgust everyone. This person isn't a person that needs to steal to survive. You know what I mean? There's a difference between stealing to survive, desperation, and you're a rich kid who's just bored, so you figure you rob a bunch of people and do other things. Big fucking difference. Big character difference, in my opinion. And so, one, he's not financially hard up. So that's disgusting that he's even stealing at all, because it's not even necessary. It's just for shits and giggles, I guess. I don't know. But, look what family he grew up in. So that should tell you all you need to know. But if you know about that family, not that family, that family, you know who I'm talking about. So yeah, he didn't have a chance of turning out normal, that's for sure. But, now he went to court and he was complaining that I don't have money for a lawyer. Okay, again, this is a family that's financially well off. Why do I say that? Because the Boebert's net worth went up substantially when she got in Congress, which happens to a lot of performative, fake congressmen that are just there to grift, like Bobo is. So when Bobo made her transition from escort, yes, escort, to Congress, she received a lot of money from a lot of people, a lot of special interests. Her husband was given a job, I believe, did the numbers matter? $500,000 a year. No experience. It wasn't about that. By an oil company or something like that. It was only because his wife had just become a congressman. So they want them on the payroll. The oil industry, I guess, whoever gave him that sweetheart, cream puff job for $500 a fucking year, just because he's married to a congressman. I assume he's probably lost that job by now, because now he and the congressman are divorced, and have had, several scandals in the paper about them fighting in public and other shit. So I imagine that job has been taken away from Jason Bobo. So he's probably got a lot less money coming in now. Bobo, on the other hand, I assume most of her donors realize she's probably going to lose her next election, so they might not be giving much anymore either. But She's managed to grift for over 2 years off of her position, and boy, did she not waste a second of it. So, my point is, this family should be swimming in money at this point. I know there's stupid fucking hillbillies that have no idea how to manage money and could care less. But here's the thing. One of her sons is facing some serious motherfucking charges in court. And he's saying, I don't have a lawyer. I can't afford a lawyer. Where did all the grifting money go? Because that bitch been grifting since second one. And again, she went from escort to congresswoman. So everybody knew she was for sale in any way possible. So they knew what they were buying when they bought that congresswoman. They knew what they were getting, whatever they wanted, regulation-wise, legislation-wise. Again, these are people that should be swimming in grift money, excuse me. And the bitch Bobo can't even get her son a lawyer? Really? That's fucking pathetic, man. And it shows that in that family, there's something really fucked up going on. All the grifting, the $500,000 a year job with the husband, the ex-husband now, where'd all that money go? I guess you used it to buy, F-350s and 250s and fucking, what are those fucking jerk-off things? ATVs and bullshit like that. I guess that's where it all went, because their son's in court crying he don't have a lawyer and he can't afford one. And, the Boberts hate handouts unless they're from Republican donors. So now the taxpayers are going to have to pay for a lawyer for this kid because Bobo's too cheap to get her own fucking son a lawyer? Damn, that's fucked up. What the fuck's going on in that family? Holy shit. You'd think she'd at least care enough to have that kid some, decent representation before he even walked in the courtroom. Where'd the grifter money go? Where'd the grift money go? Where's that? And remember another thing Bobo did in the past. I told you this story. This just goes to her character, what she's like, what she cares about. She was riding on an ATV with her sister-in-law, her sister, and one of her own sons. And she was drunk. Bobo was driving. And she jumped off the ATV, and the ATV went into a ditch with her sister-in-law and son on it. Bobo was fine. Sister-in-law got fucked up. Bobo said, please don't tell the cops that I was drunk and what and all this, and then I jumped off. I'll pay for your injuries. Well, this woman, received a bunch of injuries from that little move by Bobo. Her own sister-in-law, for fuck's sake. And I guess Bobo never paid the medical bills because the sister-in-law leaked it eventually, not right away. So that shows she was willing to cover for Bobo if Bobo paid her bills, but Bobo didn't pay her bills. Bobo can't even get a lawyer, a cheap-ass, some bargain basement Colorado lawyer to come represent her own fucking kid who's facing some serious shit in court. You don't want a public defender for that. You really don't, for the charges he's facing. I wouldn't. So yeah, that's Bobo. And it astounds me that this is what these people are like. They're fucking snakes, man. They don't even give a fuck about their own kid facing charges because he's grown up in a dysfunctional fucking backwoods hillbilly family led by an ex-escort and a guy who whips his dick out in bowling alleys. You know what I mean? The kid never ever had a chance. And my critique really, even though the kid's a total fuck-up criminal right now, hopefully he changes in the future. I doubt it, though. I'm really making a point about Bobo. You can't get your own son a fucking lawyer? You grifting hoe? Really? It's that bad? Has the money well dried up so substantially you can't even afford a lawyer for your son? Or you're just not willing to spend the grift money on your son? Just like you weren't willing to spend the grift money on your sister-in-law's medical bills. Even though she was doing you a fucking favor by keeping a pretty big secret No one in Congress wants it to come out that they jumped off an ATV while drunk while their son and sister-in-law were on it. No one wants that kind of scandal. All right, so that's enough for Bobo. And Bobotron, it's a new name I came up for her, Bobotron. But I'm probably going to go with Bobo for the most part. Donald Trump, I told you, the orange abomination. I told you in a video I did recently, someone will come save his ass at the last minute. Why? Because it's embarrassing when the nominee for the Republican Party is getting his assets fucking seized because he's a deadbeat and a fraud. It's kind of embarrassing on a larger scale for Republicans in general, the Republican establishment in general, and anyone that's a Republican in government in general, and all those rich donors that think they're doing something good when really all they're doing is securing their tax cuts and deregulation and shit like that, that donate to people like Donald Trump. Where was I going with this? Anyway, I told you someone would come bail him out. They weren't going to let his assets just get seized a few weeks ago. What happened? At the very last minute, a bond company came for, a judge ruled in Donald's favor. Wouldn't happen for nobody else, believe me. Wouldn't happen for you. Wouldn't happen for me. And they cut his penalty by more than half. Not the entire penalty. In other words, he still owes the 400 million, whatever the fuck it is, for his fraud and shit. Or was it the E-Gene? I can't keep up with his rulings. Anyway, he still owes that second bond he wasn't able to secure, the full amount. But remember, in order to appeal these civil cases, this is what I hear from legal experts, you have to post 100% of the bond, the judgment amount, and a little more. So if you lose your appeal, that money goes right to the victim. And the court wants to know, you're saying you have this money, or this person's saying they have this money. They better be able to pay the judgment if you lose your appeal immediately. That's the criteria. So at the very last second, a bond company comes forward after a judge says, now you only have to pay 175 million, way less than the 475, whatever the fuck the amount was. So a judge came in and saved his ass partly that way. So Donald got a bond company to agree, okay, we'll put up the 175. God knows what the criteria was for that, or the what's the word I'm looking for? The requirements were, the agreement was for them to put this money up. Hello, is that Dennis? Hello, Dennis. Here's the thing, though. When the court scrutinized the bond company's offer to the court, hey, we're going to put this 175 up, let Donald appeal. Now he can appeal, since the judge said, oh, you don't have to do the full amount because you're special, Donald. You just have to pay 175 to get your appeal rolling, unlike anybody else in the world. So now the appeal can roll forward. But again, the New York attorney's office looked at it and realized, hey, the bond company didn't send us paperwork proving their financial situation. In other words, they're not sending us documentation that if Trump loses this appeal, this 175 can be directly paid by them to the victim. We haven't seen that documentation. Finally, they got some documents, and it turns out, it appears pretty strongly that bond company can't come up with the 175 if he loses his appeal. So what do you have here? In essence, you have a bounced check, basically. You have a bond company saying, we'll put up the 175. Problem is, if Donald loses his appeal, they can't prove, they can't show, they can't pay the 175. So their word is worthless, their check is worthless, Donald's bond is worthless to the court and to the victim. I mean, can you believe it? But here's the thing with all this. Again, he's delayed it now another month, possibly longer. And that's all he was really looking for. Till he finds the right oligarch or whoever to come in and bail his ass out. Do I think they're going to start selling his assets now that they've seen the bond company can't pay shit? That they're lying? No. Someone else will come in and save him again. And he still has more time. Time ain't up yet. In other words, chances that you and I would never, ever get, he keeps getting over and over again. Never have I seen someone treated more with, I don't know what the term is, kid gloves or whatever. I wouldn't receive that treatment. Think about it for a moment. Let's just talk about 3,000 classified documents. If you or I stole 3,000 fucking classified documents, where would we be right now? Where would we be the day after? 5 minutes after? An hour after? We'd be in fucking prison. And we'd never get the fuck out. And it's that simple. If it was one of us peons down here that aren't, claiming our entire life to be billionaires on paper, who magically can't come up with $175 million bonds, even though they lie and say they're a billionaire their whole life. Anyway, I only want this. I'm not one of these people you see on Twitter or on YouTube or whatever that wants, a firing squad for Donald Trump. No. I want him to be treated how I would be treated. If I stole 3,000 motherfucking classified documents, FBI contacts me, I tell them fuck off. You know what I mean? They're mine. They're mine. Fuck you, FBI. What do you think would happen to poor old Nick? FBI agents with machine guns would be at my front door, and if I did the slightest twitch, my ass would be shot. Let's say I didn't twitch, and they decided to be nice and take me into custody. I'd be in motherfucking custody, and I'd never get out. I wouldn't get chance after chance. I wouldn't be allowed to be on the fucking golf course cheating at golf every day. And yeah, that's how Donald Trump spends his days. On Truth Social and cheating at golf. That's it. Nothing else. That's it. And that's indisputable. Cheating at golf. At his own golf courses. That's his day. Would that be my day if I stole 3,000 motherfucking classified documents? No. My day would be 23 hours in the prison, in the jail cell, 1 hour rec outside doing push-ups. That'd be my day. Every day for the rest of my life. If I dared steal 3,000 classified documents and then tell the FBI to fuck off when they came for him and send the butler. This literally happened, by the way, what I'm about to describe to you. Send the butler to my private jet with boxes to load the classified documents that I'm supposed to be leaving for the FBI, who are coming in like a day, to come seize this stuff. This really happened. The butler went on CNN. He explained the whole fucking thing. Imagine if you or I did this shit. He's got the motherfucking butler loading classified docs that he stole, that the FBI knows he stole, and is coming to pick up, to send somewhere else. What would happen to you or me if we did that? You know the answers to that question. Anybody defending it's an abject hypocrite. Because they'd be buried under the fucking jail if it was them, or if it was me. I'm sorry, you got to consider a person who steals 3,000 classified documents a national security risk. You have to. There's no other classification for it. So, back to my original point. I'm not one of these people that needs to see Donald Trump strung up by the balls, literally. I just want whatever the justice system in this country would do to poor old Nick, I want them to do to him. Because that's what they would do to me. And the rubes wouldn't pay my legal bills. Imagine that, a guy who's bragged, who shits in a golden toilet. Well, when he's not shitting in his diaper, because he's mostly shits his pants. He doesn't need a toilet anymore. That must be convenient. In between grip. Oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? In between grifts. He just shits while he's grifting on stage in front of everybody. Pisses himself, shits himself. Anyway, the rubes that try and pass this motherfucker off as a man of the people or something. This Brooklyn real estate money laundering con artist fraud. They're paying his legal bills. A guy who's bragged over and over about being a billionaire, said he's worth $10 billion. Then when the fines come down, he's got his hand out to everybody. Pure grifter, man. Shameless. Shameless. And if Obama was doing all these things Donald does on a daily basis, all these scams, schemes, frauds, would the rubes be sending Obama money? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. And we know why. So yeah, Donald's bond company bounced the fucking check, it appears. But don't worry, some other evil, disgusting entity with ties to Russia and the Cayman Islands, like this last bond company, don't worry, someone will come forward and handle that bill for Donnie shitbags, because they always do. And it's too embarrassing for the Republican Party and the whole fake machine, the right-wing grift machine, to have, again, the nominee for president getting his house repossessed. It's embarrassing to a lot of people that pretend Donald's a candidate worth endorsing, that pretend they don't really just want tax cuts and deregulation and more anti-worker shit and whatever they can grab. That's what they really want. They know Donnie's a piece of shit. They don't care. They want tax cuts. The rest who fall for the con, you're just rubes. That's simple. So the bond company bounced the check. What's Donnie going to do now? I guess someone else will come bail him out, because Donnie's always got his hand out. Always. So I don't know. He's a billionaire, yet he's always got his hand out. Explain that to me. MAGA cult? Explain that to me. How does that work? All right, the last thing, Elon. Elon is a truly disturbed individual. Court documents have come out, so there's no disputing this. He admitted to having at least 2 what you call burner accounts. That's an account you make on social media besides your normal regular account that everyone knows you by, so you can write messages and pretend you're something or someone else. Well, Elon pretended to be a 3-year-old. I guess one of his children he based it on. I don't know where his sick mind got it from. He pretended to be a child under the account called Elon Test. T-E-S-T. Elon Test. He pretended to be a child since he started the account. As if that isn't bad enough. And he admitted this in court documents, that he made these 2, at least 2. So if he admits to 2, that means he probably made 2,000. But some of the messages he wrote as a child, one of the things he asked somebody was, "Are you into Japanese girls?" One of the other messages he wrote on Twitter was, "I'm turning 3 or 4 next month." So he was really playing the part here. But I have this one message in particular that really strikes me. The real sickness of it. The real proof that this dude is just totally mentally fucking ill. This is an Elon test tweet. What's the date on it? It's from 2023 in April. Here it is. Grimes left the king of SpaceX? That's a question. Who does that question remind you of? Starting it off with a question. Grimes left the king of SpaceX? Question? Her kids must hate her! Exclamation point. They probably want to spend all their time with Mr. Tesla. That's with an exclamation point again. And there's 3 sideways faces crying hysterically. Again, think of what's going on here. This is the alleged richest man in the world, or second richest man in the world on paper, pretending he's a child under this fake account that he made. He has time for this. Mr. Hunt, centibillionaire, has time to do this. Wow, I guess all those billions can't buy you a life, huh? It seems that way. And here's indisputable motherfucking proof right here that this dude has no life. And with that kind of money, you can buy a life. You can buy a lot of lives. With that kind of money. 220 billion? You can buy a life, damn it. You can be doing better things than this. I'm poor and I don't do this. So again, he's pretending to be a child. I guess he's talking about one of his ex-wives, ex-girlfriends. I don't care. So he's talking about one of his own ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, calling himself the king of SpaceX, one. Her kids must hate her. Now he's saying his own children or whatever kids he's had with her, I don't know, hate her, whilst pretending to be a 4-year-old. They probably want to spend all their time with Mr. Tesla. Okay, now he's saying his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife's children want to spend all their time with him. He's calling himself Mr. Tesla. The guy who's a centibillionaire who's pretending to be a child, putting words in his children's mouths, negative words, about their mother. Yeah, this is some sick shit here. I'm talking, this motherfucker is insane. I'm talking 5150 insane. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being dramatic. Think about this again. Second richest man in the world, who wants everybody to think he's an alpha genius, visionary. That's what people say about him, right? Which is complete horseshit. Visionary. He's a psychopath. He's insane. He's pretending to be a toddler whilst calling himself the king of SpaceX, Mr. Tesla, whilst talking shit on his ex-wife for his millions of, or no, it's not his account, it's a fake account, so he doesn't have millions of followers, but for the whole world to see. Because everyone has seen these. They're all over the internet. They're viral as fuck since the court documents came out. And he had to admit it in court. And it's another example of one of these filthy, rich, disgusting liars. They'll say one thing on X or on Twitter and one thing in the courtroom. And here's what he's saying about this on Twitter. He suspended the account. It's his account. He's the one pretending to be a 3 or 4-year-old. He suspended his own account. Because on Twitter, he wants people to not think that's his account. Even though it's gone viral as fuck and everyone knows. Except for the idiots. And except for the ones who are going to say they love him no matter what because they got stock in his shitty company. He suspended his own account. He runs Twitter. He runs X. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. Again, 5150, man. So you're going to kind of like half pretend on Twitter that this is someone else's account that you guys suspended, when it's literally the guy's account who bought the place. He could have just deleted it. He could have just deleted it. And no one would have, you know. I mean, he's always going to be a cringe douchebag to me because of shit like this. I don't see how anyone can respect this man. And once he exposed himself on social media, I realized all the myths about this jerk off, none of it's true. Not a bit of it. One more time, because I love to repeat myself, he's pretending to be a 3 or 4-year-old. He's saying the kids must hate their mother. He's saying the kids must want to spend all the time with the father, which is him pretending to be a fucking kid. Then he suspended the account instead of just deleting it. These are the successful people, right? Donnie shitbags, Elon, the Child King. I guess when they called him the Child King, they were onto something, right? Remember that video I did and I explained that whole thing? In other words, these companies that Elon gets involved with by buying into, he doesn't engineer a damn thing. He doesn't design a damn thing, engineer nothing. He just buys in. The people that work at these companies, if you talk to them in private, it's already come out. They look at him as an obstacle to success. Something that needs to be avoided. In other words, keep the child occupied while we do the real work so we can actually succeed. Because we can't succeed with the Child King in our way, thinking he knows best. The Child King that pretends to be a child and whilst pretending to be a child says his own kids hate their mother and that his own kids want to spend all their time with him. That's him saying that, though, under the guise of a fake persona. The visionary, the genius, in quotes. What did he call himself? Mr. Tesla. King of SpaceX. These are the people others admire because they can afford a Gucci bag and you can't. Pitiful for this planet that anyone admires people like this, people like I just described to you, that anyone aspires to be like them, that anyone who hates them, and that's everybody. No one can stand any of those 3 individuals I just described to you, who would put their disdain and disgust aside because they know it's wrong for money, because a lot of you are that out there that work for these people, work with these people. You despise them. You know they're ruining the country. You know they're doing bad things. But if the money's right, you'll work with them or for them. That's a problem. Attitudes like that are the downfall of nations. I mean, we could have chosen to ignore a lot of people a long time ago. Never give them any press. Just treat them like the fringe sociopaths that they are. We could have done that. But ratings are more important for news agencies. Controlling the media, right-wing oligarchs, buying media outlets. All of that's more important. And again, for all the oligarchs out there, you're spending billions a year on trying to avoid paying taxes. Take half that money, put it in your pocket. Take the other half, send it to the IRS. That saves you all the hassle. They'll work with you. Believe me, they always cater to you people. Always. I just saved you half your money. Now, can you pay me $2 million an hour for consulting fees because I just gave you the best motherfucking advice you'll ever get in your life, unless you enjoy being evil. Maybe you do. Maybe that's all that's left for you once you amass a certain amount of money. How many people can I screw over per day en masse or en masse via some evil legislation I'm lobbying for? Maybe that's all you got left in life. If it is, once again, billions of dollars can't buy you a life. Elon Musk is the literal example of that. I just proved it. He just proved it in court when he admitted to that shit. My God, that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Let me say one last thing, too. For the people that come to my videos and be like, hypocrite. First of all, when you call someone a hypocrite, you have to base that on something. And here's the thing about me. I want to say to everyone, and some of you probably already know this about me. I'm not running for office on the platform of anti-gay, anti-alternative lifestyle. Anyone that isn't following the guidelines of family values is wrong, and gays are wrong, alternative lifestyles are wrong. We need to burn books, we need to ban books. I'm not doing any of those things. So don't ever compare me to those people. Always remember, I never ran for office on a family values platform, and then you found a bunch of skeletons in my closet that contradict the family values platform. That's why I point certain people out as hypocrites. Like, it wasn't the Zigglers, having threesomes while they're preaching family values and banning books about slavery and other things. Who are you to be preaching to anyone that they're wrong? If you want to run for office, fine. Don't run for office on that platform and lie to people. That's the hypocrisy. I'm basing my hypocrisy on something. I'm not judging threesomes. I'm judging the anti-threesome platform you're running on. That's what I'm judging you for. You get it? I'm not judging Matt Schlapp for grabbing cocks. Whatever. If that's what you want to do, go for it. Whatever. It's your life. It's a free country. That's not what I'm judging Matt Schlapp for. I'm judging Matt Schlapp for being in the hierarchy of the Republican Party that touts family values and Christianity, and we're doing everything right, and anything besides that is wrong. No, I never ran on that platform, so don't judge me by those standards, ever. I would never do that. Anyway, I would never be part of the right-wing thing. It's a grift. None of them care about any of it. They care about money and power. Same thing man has cared about since the beginning of time. Power, authority, having their own little kingdom. That's all they care about. They don't care about abortion. They don't care about being gay because Matt Schlapp's gay. Hierarchy of the Republican Party who's anti-gay all the time. That's what they run on. Being anti-gay, etc. And how many closeted Republican gays are there like Lindsey Graham? If Lindsey ain't gay, nobody is. That's the hypocrisy. I'm not judging anyone's lifestyle choices. I'm not the one running on a family values platform. That's not me. And if you are living an alternative lifestyle, you better not, don't fake the funk when you're out there, and then we got to find out you're doing what you're campaigning against. It happens over and over in a certain political party, doesn't it? Over and over. And these aren't, fringe, low-level people here. Matt Schlapp is a high-level person in the Republican machine. The Zigglers were high-level in Florida, I believe, of the Republican machine. And I also wonder why, and I'll end it here, why did Donald call his wife Mercedes? That's Matt Schlapp's wife's name. That's interesting. And there are pictures of them together. So I don't know. Maybe he wanted some Mercedes that day and not what's her name, Melania that day. I don't know. But I find that interesting. That was an interesting thing that happened. Anyway, I hope everyone has a wonderful day.